gonna tell you guys a story. Another one. Don't mind this, okay? Don't even mind it. She's not pregnant, that's for sure. Also, I forgot I even owned this. I was cleaning out my makeup drawers earlier when I got to work and I realized I had this and I don't ever use it. And I was like, bitch, you are expensive. I should be using you every single day for the amount of money I paid for you. Anyways, whores, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This one's a fun, and I was thinking about it earlier today on my walk, because earlier on my walk, I wanted a churro. I wanted a churro real bad. And I hate the fact that I don't even have the option to go get like my cravings, especially this time of the month. Anybody else like that? Yeah, so I used to work in construction. She might be a little sassy today. That's because she's got the red devil in her belly. Probably not gonna do anything too crazy. Maybe I might, I don't know. She put tape on. Which one do we start off with? Cake mix? Say anything about my nails. I f***ing dare you to say anything about my nails. Like, try me, please. I don't even care. I don't feel anything anymore. So I used to work in construction for a good time, actually, like almost a year. Was it fun? No. Did I learn a lot? Not really. I basically just lifted stuff. And one time my brother just made me go buy his groceries for him. It was a good time. I used to work for a business that unfortunately went out of it. It happened pretty abruptly, so I had to get a job pretty quickly because I have a mouth to feed and a baby. That was a dumb joke. So I had to get a job, and my brother owns his own construction company and needed a cleaner. And I was like, hey, you know, I make my bed every day. How hard can it be? And he was like, yeah, you think you can handle it? Okay, you're hired. So I got a job as a construction worker, and there's the backstory. Now, I'm gonna talk to you guys about a guy named Hector. We'll call him Hector because that's what his name is. Hector was the type of guy, like boundaries, he didn't know them. What are they? Social cues? None. Very unique, we'll go with that word. For a man his age, you think he would know better and have lived enough life and like learn certain things? Ouch. We'll go with ouch now. So Hector was the painter. I was the cleaner slash anything and everything my brother needed me to do, I did. On this particular day, we were cleaning up a house that he was still painting a section of. That's just my long way of telling you guys we had a shift together. Usually I did stuff after he was done with his stuff. This day we actually worked together and we had lunch together. I feel like I should give you some backstory. On my very first day of work, when we were told you guys could go have your own lunch breaks, I didn't even know this guy. I didn't even know him. Again, he's like a 40, maybe 50-year-old guy. Honestly, I don't know. I never got around to asking him because I didn't care. This man, I hadn't had a conversation with him at this point. I think we were just like in passing and he was like, hey, you're so-and-so's little sister. Cool, that's my boss. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's my boss too. And he was like, yeah, how old are you? And then I said, oh, I'm 24. I think I was 24, 25 years old. And he was like, oh, my son is your age. You guys should meet. Oh my God, we really shouldn't. Typical conversations, tips. Like just very forward. For lunch that day, I didn't pack a lunch because I was lazy. And I really thought I had money that I didn't have. Again, because I was hungry, didn't pack a lunch, I was like, I'm gonna go get some food. He stops me on my way to my car and says, hey, where are you going? I say, hey, I'm gonna go get Taco Bell. And he goes, oh, would you mind going to Carl's Jr. for me and picking me up 2 hamburgers? I said, sir, I don't even know you and you're already marrying me off and treating me like your postmate? Who the fuck? Also, I need you guys to understand one little detail about this whole story. I am not exaggerating, not one bit. Every single thing that I am telling you, it is 100% true. It happened to me, I lived it, a bitch was there. I said, oh, I just think it's out of the way for me, because it really was. Taco Bell is here. We were working over here. Carl's Jr. is way over here, literally in a different city. Also, mind you, there was nothing in his hands. I'm a generous person, but for you to assume that I'm just gonna drive to another city when I got a 30-minute lunch break just as much as you, and I don't know you, you're not even my father-in-law. I only considered it for like 2 minutes. Sir, I had politely declined that offer. And then that was one of the maybe 4 shifts I ever worked with him. Again, he was a painter, I was a cleaner. My job was to go in to work after people were done and pick up the mess so that the next day they would have a clean place to work in and a lot less health hazards to be had in the way. Because my brother had this thing about him where he didn't want to get sued. It's pretty common in business practices. Anywho, donor. So Back to the day in question. On this day, much like today, I was really craving churros. Like I had really wanted a churro. Like I woke up that day and I was like, you know what? I want a churro. And on my way to work, the place that we were working at, condominium complex, because we were building condos. And the place that we were working at was literally right behind a Jack in the Box. Well, not literally right behind. You still had to drive it, but it was close. It was literally like 2 minutes maybe driving distance. And I didn't want to walk because the bitch was tired. And I didn't know the area. So a bitch was also scared. And so I said, hey, to myself, bitch, you deserve this. Which is how I got myself in credit card debt, mind you. And why I really needed to work to begin with. So hey, stop telling yourself you deserve shit. Cut up your credit cards. This is my advice to you. Also, stay seated, bitches, because this one's gonna get good. So I went to go get my churros. Also, fun fact, guys, churros from Jack in the Box are bomb. I don't care what anybody says. I know they're not authentic. I'm Mexican as all get out. Nomás me falta mi nopal en la frente. For a while there, every morning I would stop at Jack in the Box, get a coffee, and get an order of churros. Again, I was in deep credit card debt. I really thought I deserved everything in the world. I get my churros and my coffee and a breakfast sandwich because I said, why not? And it's only my coworker, which is another cleaner. Her name is Trini, so we'll call her that as well. We were having lunch in one of the empty garages and Trini was right next to me. Another homie was sitting on his lunch pail as Mexican construction workers do. And we were listening to music, all not speaking to each other, just like best friends do, just having our breakfast. And then a familiar truck pulls up and a guy in a painter's uniform hops out the damn truck. Can you guys guess who that was? You're wrong. Hector pops out of his truck and is like, hey guys, I guess I'm gonna paint another wall today that I didn't finish painting the other day because he was also pretty bad at his job. Actually, I think he was really good at his job and that's why my brother like kept him around or still keeps him around. I don't know. I got fired a long time ago. And he was like, oh, you guys are having lunch? I'll have lunch with you guys then too. He had just shown up to work, pulled out his lunch pail, sat on his lunch pail across from me and started eating his lunch. I didn't mind this because I was happy. A bitch had her churros. She was good. She wasn't eating her churros though. She was eating her breakfast sandwich because she was saving the best for last. Anyways. More donor. I had finished my breakfast sandwich and your girl was excited because she had been menstruating real hard that week and just wanted her churros. She just wanted her churros. Nomás quería sus churros. And so Hector's a talker. So he's talking to everybody. Eventually, everybody's real into it. I'm just kind of nodding along because it's just what I do. I'm a really quiet person, guys, when I'm in crowds of people that I don't really know. And while I knew them and they were my coworkers, again, it was just a scene that I was still getting used to. This was still like in my first month. This was also, by the way, the second time I had ever worked. Now, my mom, lovely lady. My dad, great man. They didn't raise no selfish bitch. They might have raised a sassy, vulgar little bitch, but not a selfish one and not a greedy one. I was raised to offer what I have, whatever I have, if I so have it in spades or if I don't. Now, but I'm also the type of person that when I'm on my period and I offer you pastries or sweets of any sort, I'm gonna need you to just say no and politely decline my polite offer. Is that too much to ask? Just for this week. Every other time I'm like, please grab in spades, but this one time, I'm gonna need you to say no. And everybody caught that. Except for, you probably guessed it, Trini said no, the homie said no, because they're polite human beings and we're like, no, you went all the way to got them, you've been talking about them all day, which I probably had, because I talk about food like I'm in a relationship with it. And let me paint a picture for you right after I get up in this crease. So this is how I offered. I grabbed one, didn't eat it yet, and that's my bad, because I was always raised to offer before you touch type of thing. I grab a churro, just one churro, and I say, alguien gusta un churro, which roughly translate to, does anybody want a churro? But Hector, when I tell you, again, there are no lies in this story, this motherfucker got up, walks over to me, grabs the bag of churros from my hand, and walks back and eats them in front of me. Bitch. I know. One could only imagine my frustration, but when I tell you I didn't know if I could have laughed or cried, I think I basically did both in that situation. I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure I did both. I could not believe the balls on this guy when my offer wasn't even, would anybody like the rest of my churros? No. Would anybody like a churro? A churro? It fucking translates into both languages, homie. I don't know, like you see I had just had one. I'm dying. Nobody fertilized my egg. There was nothing in my uterus. Things were coming out because nothing was put in. I am suffering and I just want my churros. I wanted my churros that day so bad. And this guy just walked up and took them like this was his house. And it wasn't anybody's house. It was just the bank's at that point. And he didn't get it. Again, he was just the type of guy that was like that. I told my brother that story when my brother showed up to inspect the job that we did. And he started laughing. I probably laughed with him. Because honestly, like I do remember the situation being so funny. Even Trini like stared at him. And then the homie over here, we're calling him the homie because I don't really remember his name, but he was really nice. Okay, he bought me a burrito once and an apple soda. And homie over here was like, hey, I'm pretty sure she only offered you one. And he was like, oh. By that time, I shit you not, he had finished all the churros. All of this happened so fast and he literally finished all my churros. I don't know how. The man is a vacuum and a Dyson at that, filled with my churros. I don't even remember what Hector's response was. I think it was like, oh, I'm sorry. But even if it was that, he never even offered to like go buy me more. And again, when I was talking to my brother later that day and telling him that story, he literally was like, yo, on the first week that I hired him, he had to come to my house to pick up paperwork to fill out. And I shit you not, this man walked into my house and literally asked if I had any coffee or cookies I could offer him. And somehow he made me the godfather to his son who needed shoes. I don't know how it happened. I think he's a magician and a slick one. My brother is the type of person that's just, he's really chill, he's really calm. We just found the humor in this situation. And like looking back at it now, it's a really funny story. And every time I tell people this story, they're like, oh my God, no way. Like there's no way somebody could be like that socially clueless and like that ballsy. And I'm like, no. Oh, but there is. And his name is Hector. Hector the painter.